Welcome to Giglio, Italy. It was exactly 1 week ago at 9:30 at night that approximately 4,200 people lived through their own Poseidon adventure when their cruise ship hit the rocks. They were on the Costa Concordia. At over 950 feet in length, it is the largest ship to ever end up like this. At least 11 souls lost, 21 still missing. The question is why? Tonight, we will give you the latest development on everything that has happened and point you in the direction of those who should be held responsible. We're also going to tell you what's happened on other cruise ships, information you should have before you hit the high seas. But our story begins here, on a moonlit night with a captain on a collision course. He is the center of a firestorm of outrage and disbelief, vilified in the media as the coward who disgraced his country. He is Captain Francesco Schettino, the 52-year-old seaman with a Pepsodent smile, accused of abandoning his ship during one of the worst cruise disasters in history.
He's supposed to go down with the ship, not leave the ship.
January 13th, 7 p.m. As the Costa Concordia sets sail from Port Civitavecchia, everything is perfect. The seas smooth, the weather bellissimo, the 3,000 passengers brimming with anticipation of a voyage along the Tuscan coast.
We've been looking forward to it for several months now. Hey, we're gonna have a good time.
Oscar Rosales and his family were celebrating mother-daughter birthdays. As veteran cruisers, they were expecting a safety drill at the start of the trip.
In this cruise ship, we didn't have an opportunity to do that.
So there was no drill?
There was no drill.
By 9 p.m., the restaurants were filled with passengers eating and drinking to their heart's content. Multiple staff members recall seeing Captain Schettino in the dining room. And who was he with?
We're together with one girl, but I don't know who's the girl.
Okay. Her name, Domnica Cermorthan, a 25-year-old from Moldova who once worked as a Costa Cruises hostess. During dinner, the ship begins its fateful turn toward a tiny scenic island called Giglio. Captain Schettino had a surprise in store, to come in close to the island in tribute to a retired sea captain there.
The captain, by engaging in this alleged showmanship and reckless conduct, imperiled the lives of all the passengers.
The company claims the captain went rogue, but there's evidence on video and in ship route records that passing very close to Giglio has happened before. But this time the ship comes too close and hits the rocks barely 300 yards from shore. And as you can see on the left, the port side of the ship, when it hit the rocks, a huge gash was torn. A boulder is still inside it. Once it filled up with water, the ship could no longer move.
Your exercise has been loaded.
To get an idea of what may have happened that night, here's a simulation of the captain's bridge on a cruise ship heading up the Mediterranean coast. Schettino would have had access to high-tech radars, sonar systems for depth, a computerized navigation system designed to protect the ship from harm. At the moment when the Costa Concordia approaches the rocks, an alarm like this would have gone off.
We hear a big bang, the lights go off, all our drinks fall onto the table.
The captain's whereabouts at the moment of impact are in dispute. He later claimed that he was on the bridge, but that's not how some passengers remember it.
He was having dinner in the Costa Club, period.
Someone whispered in his ear as he got up and ran.
Right.
So that's when he was aware that they were in real big trouble.
At first, the passengers were told there was an electrical failure.
The announcement was, don't worry, and we just sat back in our seats and said, okay, let's wait and see what happens.
Shortly after hitting that rock, he should have immediately taken steps to begin emergency lifeboat drills. He should have immediately sent out a Mayday signal.
Soon, another announcement. Some passengers grabbed their life vests, but many others, like Vanessa Rosales, returned to their cabins. Are we panicking yet?
We're not panicking yet because they keep telling you to remain calm. It wasn't until one of the staff members is frantically screaming at me and my mother to get out and that we shouldn't be there.
20 minutes passed before the first calls to land were made. One crew member called his family, who then contacted the Coast Guard. What type of problem? Only generators? No, negative. We have a blackout, and we are verifying the conditions on board. Even after the ship was taking on water, the Coast Guard was told it's all okay. It took an hour before the captain finally put out a distress call.
A complete evacuation of a cruise ship should take place under 30 minutes. He waited and he created an environment where it was impossible to deploy all the available lifeboats.
In a move some call heroic, the captain turns the ship toward shore. He says to make evacuation easier. But the Concordia is now listing so dangerously, passengers struggle to keep their footing.
People are going very slowly because if you miss one step, it could be a domino effect and everybody can fall and slide right down.
With water gushing into the holds, the passengers were starting to panic.
The guy running the boat says, no more, no more. People are jumping into the lifeboat on top of them.
I had to pee and I thought I was going to die.
Karen Coys and her friend Lynn Kaling document the chaos, confusion, and brutality.
There were no women and children first. Many times it was men first, and ladies, you're on your own.
Get the kids, go!
By the time the crew finally sounds the alarm to abandon ship, the Costa Concordia is sinking fast. It's now 68 minutes since the ship first hit the rocks. It is tilting so drastically, half the lifeboats are useless. Some passengers crawl vertically along hallways to escape. Some are forced to swim to safety. Using fire hoses, bed sheets, and even their hands, passengers form human chains along the exposed hull of the ship as they desperately head toward lifeboats below.
There was this ladder, and I feel like it came out of nowhere. It was like a gift.
My lasting memory will be of those who were standing on the deck with their life jackets on, waiting to be rescued, and there were no more boats.
Then the most shocking headline of the catastrophe. With his passengers fighting for their lives, the captain is nowhere to be seen. During the evacuation, did you see the captain?
No.
Did you hear him?
No.
Any announcements from him?
No.
On a recorded call between Schettino and the Italian Coast Guard, he was ordered at least 10 times to return to the ship, but kept refusing. Listen, Schettino, perhaps you saved yourself from the sea, but I will make you look very bad. I will make you pay for this. Damn it, go back on board, Captain DeFalco says. Schettino replies, do you realize that it is dark and we can't see anything? There are already bodies, Schettino. Go. I'm giving you an order, Captain. When you hear that, how does it affect you?
He was a coward. I mean, we're fighting for our lives, and he's more concerned about himself.
Later, the captain would offer explanations, like he tripped and fell into a lifeboat, and that the ship tilted so severely it was impossible to get back on board. Schettino is currently confined to house arrest, possibly facing charges of manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning ship. Allegations he denies. All week, divers have been making dangerous treks through an underwater labyrinth, while relatives of the missing pray for their loved ones in Giglio's church. 11 souls have been lost, among them Hungarian violinist Sandor Feyer. 21 are still unaccounted for, like Diana Arlati, a 5-year-old girl, and Russell Robello, a waiter who was last seen saving lives at the risk of his own.